Good morning, everybody. Thank you for that very warm welcome. I'm sure that some of you who arrived here this morning were expecting to hear from Minister Duncan, and sorry to disappoint you, but you get me ahead. Some of those crestfallen faces actually included staff from the OPA who are here today. So, as Elise mentioned, I was previously Deputy Minister of Finance, so it's kind of ironic that I find myself in this situation that I'm pinch hitting for Minister Duncan, because I certainly had to do that before. I thought those days were over, but apparently not. So thank you to Elise for inviting me to be here today, and it's great to be included in this gathering of leaders from across the Ontario electricity sector, but also from people from across the continent. And welcome to all of our visitors here to Toronto, and certainly looking forward to discussing the issues that are very critical to our industry. It always strikes me how much we have in common when we're talking to people from other jurisdictions, and we can certainly learn a lot about challenges and priorities with regards to how others are approaching some of those same kind of problems. I thought I would start off. It's my job. Elise has tasked me with setting some context, so it's probably useful to talk about some landmark events in Ontario over the past year or so. In fact, the last 5 years, we've really come a long way in a short period of time. For our out-of-province visitors, I should probably start with a little discussion about who the Ontario Power Authority is. We were created about 5 years ago in the midst of some very significant challenges. We were spending too many summers worried that the lights were going to go off and that the air conditioners were going to go off. Our electricity sector was certainly aging. We're not alone in that. But investment in infrastructure in this province had definitely not kept up. The OPA was created to ensure a sustainable and reliable electricity system for our future. Now, we don't actually own generating facilities or transmission facilities, but we do plan Ontario's electricity system for the longer term, and that entails planning not just new sources of supply, but also conservation, as well as planning for new transmission and upgrades. And we also coordinate conservation initiatives across the province. And in fact, we always say that conservation is first on our list. To that end, Ontario has very ambitious conservation targets, reduction of 6,300 megawatts in peak demand by 2025. To put that in a little bit of perspective, it's equivalent to taking 1 in 5 households off of our grid altogether. And we're making good progress on that front. We're already 1/3 of the way to hitting the target, and we actually think that we're going to be able to hit it ahead of schedule. We're also responsible for contracting for new supply, and I will get into that in a minute. But as many of you know, because you're actually living it, the Ontario electricity sector is certainly undergoing a major transformation. And that's in large part because of the Green Energy and Green Economy Act that was passed last May, almost a year ago now, by the Ontario government. And it's a new and very ambitious clean energy program that really does position Ontario as a global leader, a North American leader, in both conservation as well as renewable energy. And it's certainly expected to encourage billions of dollars of investment in Ontario's electricity sector. It's also expected to create about 50,000 green-collar jobs in the first few years, and serve as a catalyst for greening other parts of our economy, such as transit and personal vehicles. Al Gore has actually said that the green energy program in this province is the best one on the continent. The cornerstone of the Green Energy Act is the feed-in tariff program, which we say is it's certainly the first and most comprehensive of its kind in North America. And we launched the program last fall. We've certainly come a long way when you think about it this time last year, we've designed, developed, and implemented that program, and the response has really been amazing. We've already received over 10,000 applications representing about 9,800 megawatts of potential renewable energy. By far the biggest portion of those are for our microgrid program, which is generally the small rooftop type projects. 9,000 of those applications are for that program. And we've already given 3,000 conditional offers to the applicants for those, and we continue to not only receive applications, we get waves of them in every Monday after people have spent the weekend doing their online applications, but we're also continuing to process offers day by day. Our second milestone was to announce our mid-sized projects, and we announced over 500 of those last month, the capacity of about 112 megawatts, or roughly enough to power 13,000 homes. And as Elise mentioned, just 2 weeks ago, we awarded 184 large-scale contracts under our FIT program, projects which covered all the fuel types and across the province, and represents about 2,500 megawatts of renewable energy, or enough to power 600,000 homes. We got attention from developers across the province, from manufacturers across the province, but also across the country and around the world. And over the next few years, we're expecting to add about 3,000 to 4,000 megawatts of renewable energy to our supply. Some of that's already in the pipeline from our previous programs, and some of it we're contracting under the feed-in tariff program. But to put that in perspective, we have a system that's about 35,000 megawatts in installed capacity. Now, FIT is our primary vehicle for building Ontario's supply of green energy, and it's certainly helping us to eliminate coal from our supply mix. Until just recently, I've been saying that this is the single largest climate initiative in all of North America. However, those Californians are about to overtake us with their tailpipe emission changes. And we can still say that we're leading the charge because we're well underway with our initiative, and there's nothing wrong with duking it out for first and second place, because having ambitious programs like that, we all win. But we can't say that we are the first in the world to eliminate coal from our supply mix entirely. And it, not so long ago, was making up about 20% of our supply mix, and we're confident that we're going to be completely out of it by 2014. Now, that's a very significant part of our greenhouse gas emissions and carbon footprint reduction plans, targets. The electricity sector itself is going to reduce its carbon footprint in this province by about 75%.